After centuries of struggle and setbacks, humanity was on the verge of a breakthrough. Scientists had been working tirelessly, driven by the promise of unlocking the secrets of the universe. In a small, unassuming research lab, a team led by Dr. Elise Blackwood was about to make the discovery of a lifetime. Elise's eyes remained fixed on the readouts, her fingers dancing across the keyboard as she cross-referenced the latest data. The rest of her team buzzed around her, muttering excited theories and scribbling furious calculations. The air was thick with the scent of stale coffee and the hum of sensitive equipment. "There has to be something we're missing," Elise murmured, chewing on the end of her pen. "The math checks out, but the implications—" She trailed off, shaking her head in disbelief. Her colleague, Dr. Michael Leon, peered over her shoulder, brow furrowed in concentration. "I've triple-checked the equations. Everything points to the same conclusion. We've opened a door to an entirely new realm of physics." Elise let out a heavy sigh. I know. It's just, this changes everything." The ramifications could be astronomical. The two scientists had been working on this project for nearly a decade, ever since a chance encounter at a conference had set them on a path towards unraveling one of the universe's greatest mysteries. What had started as a far-fetched hypothesis had slowly evolved into a robust theoretical framework, and now, after years of painstaking experimentation, they were on the verge of proving it. But the implications were staggering. If their findings held true, it would upend centuries of accepted scientific knowledge and challenge the very foundations of how humanity understood the cosmos. "We need to bring the rest of the team in on this," Michael said, his voice tinged with both excitement and trepidation. "They deserve to know what we've discovered." Elise nodded reluctantly. "You're right. We can't keep this to ourselves anymore." She turned to the small group of researchers, clearing her throat to gather their attention. "Everyone, I think we've done it. We've finally cracked the code." Silence fell over the lab as the team members exchanged bewildered glances. Elise could see the anticipation and apprehension on their faces. They had all poured their hearts and souls into this project, driven by the tantalizing prospect of a breakthrough. "What do you mean, crack the code?" asked Dr. Samantha Zhao, her eyes narrowing skeptically. "Are you saying we've solved the unified field theory?" Elise took a deep breath. "Not quite. But we've uncovered something even more profound. Something that could rewrite the very foundation of our understanding of the universe." The team listened, rapt with attention, as Elise and Michael outlined their findings. Diagrams and equations flashed across the screens, illuminating the intricate web of connections they had discovered. "If this is correct," Elise said, her voice barely above a whisper, "then we've just opened a window into a realm of reality that we never knew existed. A realm where the basic laws of physics as we know them simply don't apply." The researchers erupted into a cacophony of questions and exclamations, their voices overlapping as they grappled with the enormity of the revelation. "But how is that possible?" Dr. Zhao exclaimed. "Everything we've ever known, everything we've built our understanding of the universe upon. It could all be wrong." Elise raised a hand, silencing the group. "I know it's a lot to take in. Believe me, Michael and I have been wrestling with this for months, but the data doesn't lie. We've discovered a fundamental flaw in our models of reality." She paused, letting the weight of her words sink in. "And if we're right, then everything we thought we knew about the cosmos is about to change." The lab fell silent, save for the steady hum of the equipment. Elise could see the mixture of awe and trepidation etched on the faces of her colleagues. This was not just a scientific breakthrough. It was the kind of discovery that could shake the very foundations of human civilization. "So what do we do now?" asked Michael, breaking the heavy silence. Elise straightened her shoulders, a newfound determination burning in her eyes. "We investigate further. We test our hypotheses. We refine our models. And we prepare the world for the implications of what we found." She turned to face the team, her gaze sweeping across the room. "This is the opportunity of a lifetime, everyone. We're on the cusp of unlocking secrets that have eluded humanity for centuries. But we have to be careful, thoughtful, and above all, rigorous in our approach." The researchers nodded, the initial shock giving way to a palpable sense of purpose. Ellis could see the wheels turning in their minds, the cogs of scientific curiosity and ambition whirring to life. "Let's get to work," she said, her voice steady and resolute. "The future of our understanding of the universe is in our hands." With that, the lab burst into a flurry of activity as the team set out to unravel the mysteries that had been hiding in plain sight all along. As the experiments progressed, the tension in the lab grew palpable. Ellis and her team pushed the boundaries of their knowledge, exploring realms previously deemed impossible. With each passing day, they inched closer to a revelation that would change the course of human history. The team worked around the clock, fueled by a shared sense of purpose and a deep-rooted fascination with the enigmas they were unraveling. Elise found herself utterly consumed by the project, her waking hours consumed by calculations, simulations, and endless hours poring over data. "This can't be right," she muttered, her brow furrowed in concentration as she stared at the readouts. "The math checks out, but the implications are staggering." Michael, who had been hunched over his own workstation, looked up and made his way to Elise's side. "What have you found?" Elise gestured to the screen, her finger tracing the intricate patterns of the data visualizations. "According to these results, the very fabric of space-time is not what we thought it was. There are distortions, discrepancies that defy our current understanding of physics." Michael's eyes widened as he absorbed the implications. "You mean the foundation of our reality is flawed?" "In a manner of speaking, yes," Elise replied, her voice tinged with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. "What we thought was a stable, immutable framework is actually fluid, dynamic, responsive to forces we've never even considered." The two scientists fell silent, the weight of their discovery settling over them like a heavy shroud. Elise could feel the adrenaline coursing through her veins, the thrill of uncovering something so revolutionary that it threatened to upend centuries of scientific consensus. "This changes everything," Michael murmured, his gaze fixed on the data. "If we're right, then our entire understanding of the universe has been built on a false premise." Elise nodded, her mind racing as she contemplated the ramifications. "Which means all the models, all the theories we've developed, they're essentially useless. We're back to square one, with a completely new set of rules to decipher." The rest of the team had gathered around, sensing the gravity of the situation. Faces etched with a mixture of excitement and trepidation, they listened intently as Elise and Michael outlined their findings. "So what you're saying is that the very laws of physics that we've come to rely on, they're not absolute?" Dr. Zhao asked, her voice tinged with disbelief. "Precisely," Elise replied, her expression solemn. "What we're seeing suggests that the fundamental constants we've always taken for granted are, in fact, variable, malleable, dependent on factors we've never even considered." The lab fell silent as the researchers grappled with the implications. The Les could see the wheels turning in their minds, the cogs of scientific curiosity and ambition whirring to life. "This is unprecedented," Dr. Liang murmured, his eyes shining with a mixture of awe and unease. "If we've been wrong about the most basic principles of our universe, then what else have we been missing?" Elise took a deep breath, her gaze sweeping across the room. "That's the question we need to answer. Because if we're right, then everything we thought we knew about the cosmos is about to be turned upside down." The team exchanged uncertain glances, the enormity of the task before them weighing heavily on their shoulders. Elise could see the apprehension in their eyes, the fear of venturing into uncharted territory. But there was also a spark of determination, a fierce curiosity that refused to be extinguished. These were the brightest minds in their field, driven by an insatiable thirst for knowledge and the relentless pursuit of the truth. "Where do we start?" Dr. Zhao asked, her voice steady and resolute. Elise allowed a small smile to tug at the corners of her lips. We start by throwing out everything we thought we knew. We start by questioning the very foundations of our reality. She turned to face the rest of the team, her expression resolute. This is our chance to rewrite the rules of the universe, to uncover secrets that have eluded humanity for centuries. Are you all ready to take that leap with me? The researchers exchanged determined glances, their faces alight with a newfound sense of purpose. Alice could feel the energy in the room shifting, the air crackling with the electricity of possibility. "Let's do it," Michael said, his voice firm and unwavering. "Let's crack open the fabric of the cosmos and see what lies beyond." With that, the lab erupted into a flurry of activity as the team set out to challenge the very boundaries of human understanding. The final pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place. Equations that had stumped the greatest minds for generations were suddenly making sense, unlocking the gateways to a new understanding of the cosmos. Alice could hardly contain her excitement as she shared the results with her colleagues. As the team pushed deeper into their investigation, they encountered layer upon layer of complexity that had eluded human comprehension for centuries. Concepts that were once thought to be fundamental absolutes were revealed to be mere illusions, distorted by the limitations of their previous models. "It's as if we've been looking at the universe through a foggy window our entire lives," Elise marveled, her fingers flying across the keyboard as she cross-referenced the latest data. "And now, suddenly, that window has been wiped clean." Michael nodded, his brow furrowed in concentration as he studied the intricate diagrams and simulations on the screen. The patterns, the connections, they're all there, hiding in plain sight. We just couldn't see them before. Piece by piece, the team began to unravel the mysteries of the cosmos, piecing together a tapestry of knowledge that defied their wildest expectations. What had once seemed like an impenetrable enigma was slowly transforming into a vast, interconnected web of possibilities. "If these calculations are correct," Dr. Zhao murmured, her eyes widening with realization, "then the very fabric of space-time is not static and immutable, but rather a dynamic, ever-changing entity." Elise nodded, a sense of awe and trepidation washing over her. "Exactly. It's as if the universe is this living, breathing organism, constantly adapting and evolving in response to unseen forces." The implications were staggering. If their findings held true, it would mean that the fundamental laws of physics as they knew them were merely the tip of the iceberg, concealing a far more complex and unpredictable reality. "We've been operating under the assumption that the universe is a closed system, governed by a fixed set of rules," Michael said, his voice tinged with a mixture of excitement and unease. "But what if that's not the case? What if the very boundaries of our reality are more fluid and permeable than we ever imagined?" The researchers fell silent, their minds racing as they grappled with the enormity of the revelation. Elise could see the wheels turning, the sparks of new ideas and theories igniting in their minds. "If we're right, then everything we thought we knew about the nature of time, space, and matter is essentially wrong," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "The very foundations of our scientific understanding are built on a flawed premise." The lab was thick with tension as the team absorbed the implications. Elise could feel the weight of responsibility pressing down on her shoulders, the knowledge that they were on the verge of shattering centuries of accepted wisdom. "So what does this mean for us?" Dr. Lang asked, his voice tinged with a mixture of trepidation and curiosity. "If the laws of physics are not as immutable as we believed, then how do we even begin to navigate this new frontier?" Elise took a deep breath, her gaze sweeping across the room. "It means we have to start from scratch. We have to be willing to question everything, to discard our preconceptions and embrace the unknown." She paused, her eyes shining with a fierce determination. "It means we have the opportunity to rewrite the very rules of the universe, to uncover secrets that have eluded humanity for millennia." The researchers exchanged glances, their expressions a mix of awe, excitement, and apprehension. Elise could see the gears turning in their minds, the cogs of scientific inquiry whirring to life. "But where do we even begin?" Dr. Zhao asked, her voice tinged with uncertainty. Elis allowed a small smile to tug at the corners of her lips. "We start by pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible. We start by exploring the edges of our reality, searching for the cracks and fissures in the fabric of the cosmos." She turned to face the team, her expression resolute. "This is our chance to reshape the very foundations of human knowledge, to unlock the mysteries that have evaded us for generations. Are you all ready to take that leap with me?" The researchers exchanged determined glances, their faces alight with a newfound sense of purpose. Elis could feel the energy in the room shifting, the air crackling with the electricity of possibility. "Absolutely," Michael replied, his voice firm and unwavering. "Let's dive into the unknown and see what wonders await us on the other side." With that, the lab erupted into a flurry of activity as the team set out to challenge the very boundaries of human understanding. News of the impending breakthrough spread like wildfire, drawing the attention of the world. Politicians, military leaders, and the public watched with bated breath, eager to see what this discovery could mean for the future of humanity. Elis and her team braced themselves for the global spotlight. Within a matter of days, the small research lab had become the epicenter of a global media frenzy. Reporters from every major news outlet clamored for interviews, desperate to uncover the secrets that Elis and her team had uncovered. "It's like a madhouse out there," Michael muttered, peering out the window at the throng of journalists and camera crews that had gathered outside. "I can barely hear myself think." Elis nodded, her face betraying a mixture of excitement and trepidation. "I know, but we knew this was coming. Once word got out about the implications of our findings, the world was bound to take notice." She turned to face the rest of the team, her expression resolute. "We need to be prepared. The entire future of scientific understanding is riding on what we present to the public." The researchers exchanged uncertain glances, the weight of the responsibility pressing down on them. Elis could see the apprehension in their eyes, the fear of stumbling under the glare of the global spotlight. "What if we're wrong?" Dr. Zhao asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "What if our conclusions are flawed, and we end up misleading the entire world?" Elis reached out and placed a reassuring hand on the younger woman's shoulder. "We've been over the data 100 times, Samantha. The evidence is solid. The math is sound. We wouldn't be here if we weren't absolutely certain of our findings." She paused, her gaze sweeping across the room. "But I understand the trepidation. This isn't just a scientific breakthrough. It's a revolution in the way we perceive the very fabric of reality." The team fell silent, the gravity of the situation settling over them like a heavy shroud. Elis could see the wheels turning in their minds, the cogs of scientific curiosity and ambition whirring to life. "So what's the plan?" Dr. Liang finally asked, his voice steady and resolute. Elis took a deep breath, her expression hardening with determination. "We're going to tell the truth. We're going to present our findings, our methods, and our conclusions, and let the world draw its own conclusions." She paused, her eyes narrowing slightly. "But we also need to be prepared for the backlash. There are going to be skeptics, naysayers, and people who refuse to accept the implications of what we've discovered." The researchers nodded, their expressions grim. Elis knew that they were all too aware of the potential consequences of their work. The scientific establishment, the political powers, the religious leaders, all of them would be threatened by the upheaval that their discovery would bring. "We need to be ready to defend our work, to stand firm in the face of opposition." Elis continued, her voice unwavering. "And we need to be prepared to weather the storm, whatever it may bring." The team exchanged solemn glances, the weight of the responsibility they had taken on clearly visible in their eyes. Elis could see the fear and uncertainty, but she could also see the determination, the fierce resolve to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. "I know this isn't easy," she said, her voice softening. "But we're in this together. We've come this far, and we're not going to back down now." Elis paused, her gaze sweeping across the room. "The world is waiting for us, and we can't afford to let them down. Are you all ready to take the next step?" The researchers exchanged determined glances, their faces alight with a newfound sense of purpose. Ellis could feel the energy in the room shifting, the air crackling with the electricity of possibility. "We're ready," Michael replied, his voice firm and unwavering. "Let's show the world what we're made of." With that, the team sprang into action, each member taking on a specific role as they prepared to unveil their groundbreaking discoveries to the world. The day of the announcement arrived, and the world held its collective breath. Elise stood before the cameras, her voice trembling with a mixture of pride and trepidation. As she unveiled the groundbreaking findings, the room erupted into a frenzy of questions and exclamations. The implications were staggering. Elise's heart pounded in her chest as she stepped up to the podium. The glare of the spotlights and the sea of expectant faces nearly overwhelming. She took a deep breath, steadying her nerves, and launched into her presentation. "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here today," she began, her voice projecting with a confidence that belied the butterflies in her stomach. "What my team and I are about to share with you will fundamentally change the way we understand the universe." The audience fell silent, every eye trained on Elise as she continued. She outlined the key findings, her words flowing with a clarity and conviction that belied the years of painstaking work that had led to this moment. "Our experiments have revealed that the fundamental laws of physics as we know them are not, in fact, absolute," Elise explained, her hands gesturing emphatically. "The very fabric of space-time is not static, but rather a dynamic, ever-changing entity, responsive to unseen forces that we are only just beginning to comprehend." The room erupted in a cacophony of exclamations and questions, the researchers struggling to keep up with the onslaught. Elise held up her hands, a small smile tugging at the corners of her lips. "I know this is a lot to take in," she said, her voice steadying. "But the evidence is clear. The universe is not the closed, predictable system we've always believed it to be. It is a living, breathing organism, constantly adapting and evolving in ways that defy our current understanding." The journalists scribbled furiously, their eyes wide with a mix of fascination and disbelief. Elise could see the wheels turning in their minds, the implications of her team's discoveries already beginning to take root. "So what does this mean for us?" one reporter shouted, his voice cutting through the din. "If the laws of physics are not as immutable as we thought, what does that mean for the future of scientific progress?" Elise paused, her brow furrowing as she considered the question. "That's an excellent question, and to be honest, we're still grappling with the full scope of the implications ourselves." She took a deep breath, her gaze sweeping across the room. "What I can say is that this discovery opens up a whole new realm of possibility. It means that the limitations we've accepted as the boundaries of our reality may, in fact, be nothing more than illusions." The audience murmured, a collective sense of both excitement and unease rippling through the crowd. Elise could feel the weight of the responsibility pressing down on her, the knowledge that the future of human understanding hung in the balance. "So what's next?" another reporter asked, her voice tinged with a hint of apprehension. "If the foundations of our scientific knowledge are flawed, how can we trust anything we thought we knew?" Elise straightened her shoulders, her expression resolute. "That's precisely the question we intend to answer. Our team will continue to investigate these findings, refine our models, and work tirelessly to uncover the true nature of our reality." She paused, her gaze sweeping across the room. "But we can't do it alone. We need the scientific community, the policymakers, and the public to join us in this journey of discovery." The room erupted in a flurry of activity as the reporters fired off a barrage of follow-up questions. Elise could feel the tension in the air, the weight of the responsibility she and her team had taken on. But as she looked out at the sea of faces, she could also see the spark of curiosity and wonder. These were the people who would shape the future, the pioneers who would help rewrite the very rules of the universe. "We're on the cusp of a revolution, ladies and gentlemen," Elise declared, her voice ringing with a sense of conviction. "A revolution that will change the way we see the world, the way we understand our place in the cosmos, and we want you all to be a part of it." The audience erupted in thunderous applause, the energy in the room palpable. Elise allowed herself a small smile, knowing that the real work was just beginning. As she stepped away from the podium, she caught Michael's eye, and in that moment, she knew that they were both equally exhilarated and terrified. The future of humanity hung in the balance, and they were the ones who had to navigate it. But Elise was ready. She and her team had cracked the code, and now it was time to share their discovery with the world. In the aftermath of the reveal, the global community grappled with the ramifications of Elise's discovery. Some celebrated the triumph of human ingenuity, while others voiced concerns about the potential consequences. Debates raged on, as scientists and policymakers wrestled with the ethical and practical considerations. The media frenzy surrounding Elise's presentation had reached a fever pitch, with outlets around the world scrambling to unpack the staggering implications of the team's findings. Pundits and experts weighed in, offering a kaleidoscope of perspectives and interpretations. "This is a paradigm shift of unprecedented scale," declared renowned physicist Dr. Anita Sharma during a live television interview. "If the fundamental laws of physics are indeed malleable, it calls into question the very foundations of our scientific understanding." Across the globe, universities and research institutions were abuzz with frenzied activity, as scientists clamored to replicate the team's experiments and scrutinize their methods. Some voiced cautious optimism, while others remained staunchly skeptical, unwilling to accept the upheaval of cherished beliefs. "I'm sorry, but I simply can't wrap my head around the idea that the universe is this dynamic, ever-changing entity," scoffed Professor Emeritus Dorian Westbrook during a heated panel discussion. "Everything we know, everything we've built our world upon, is predicated on the assumption of universal constants. This is simply too radical a departure from accepted scientific theory." Elise and her team found themselves at the center of the maelstrom, bombarded with questions, demands, and even accusations from all sides. They weathered the onslaught with steadfast determination, their commitment to the truth unwavering. "We understand the magnitude of what we're proposing," Elise said during a press conference, her voice calm and measured. "And we welcome the scrutiny. Our findings are the result of rigorous experimentation and meticulous analysis. We're not asking the world to simply take our word for it." She paused, her gaze sweeping across the sea of reporters. "What we are asking is for an open and honest dialogue, one that explores the full scope of the implications, both positive and negative, of this discovery." The response was mixed, with some hailing Elise's candor and others dismissing it as a deflection. Politicians and policymakers, meanwhile, began to grapple with the potential ramifications, weighing the impact on everything from national security to the global economy. If the laws of physics are truly variable, it could have profound implications for our technological and industrial infrastructure, cautioned a high-ranking government official during a closed-door briefing. "We need to be prepared for the possibility of sweeping disruptions, both intended and unintended." Amid the cacophony of voices, Elise and her team remained steadfast, their focus unwavering. They knew that the path ahead would be fraught with challenges, but they were determined to see their work through to the end. "We're not naive to the risks," Michael said during a private conversation with Elise. "This discovery could upend the status quo in ways we can't even begin to fathom. But if we shy away from the truth, we're only doing a disservice to the progress of human knowledge." Elise nodded, her expression solemn. "I know, and that's why we have to keep going, no matter what obstacles are thrown our way." She paused, her gaze hardening with determination. "We've cracked open the door to a new understanding of the universe. Now it's up to us to step through and explore what lies beyond." The team worked tirelessly, refining their experiments, sharpening their analyses, and preparing for the onslaught of scrutiny that was sure to come. They knew that the stakes were high, that the future of scientific progress, and perhaps even the fate of humanity, hung in the balance. But as Elise looked around the lab, at the faces of her colleagues, She saw a shared sense of purpose and a steadfast resolve that transcended the chaos of the outside world. They were pioneers, explorers on the cusp of a new frontier, and they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. "We've come too far to turn back now," Elise murmured, her voice barely above a whisper. "The future is ours to define." With that, the team redoubled their efforts, determined to uncover the hidden truths that would rewrite the very fabric of reality. Amidst the chaos, Elise found herself thrust into the spotlight, becoming a reluctant spokesperson for the scientific community. She navigated the delicate balance of sharing her team's findings while addressing the public's fears and misconceptions. It was a daunting task, but Elise's unwavering dedication to the pursuit of knowledge kept her moving forward. The whirlwind of media attention had left Elise feeling both exhilarated and overwhelmed. One minute she was presenting her team's groundbreaking discoveries to a captivated audience, and the next she was fending off a barrage of skeptical questions and accusations. How can we trust anything you say when the very foundations of science are called into question? A reporter demanded during a live interview. For all we know, your findings could be just as fluid and unpredictable as the laws of physics you've uncovered. Elise took a deep breath, her expression remaining calm and composed. I understand the skepticism, and I welcome the scrutiny. Our work has been subjected to the most rigorous peer review and validation processes available. The evidence is clear. The universe operates in ways we never could have imagined. She paused, her gaze steady and unwavering. But that doesn't mean we have all the answers. In fact, this discovery has opened up a vast new frontier of scientific inquiry. It's our responsibility to explore those frontiers, to uncover the truth, no matter where it leads us. The reporter seemed unsatisfied, but Elise could see the wheels turning in their mind, the spark of curiosity and wonder that her words had ignited. As the days turned into weeks, Elise found herself shuttling between television studios, conference halls, and government briefing rooms, always with the same mission: to enlighten, to inspire, and to allay the fears of a world on the brink of a paradigm shift. The implications of our findings are indeed staggering, she would explain, her voice steady and measured. But we must approach this discovery with open minds and a deep respect for the pursuit of knowledge. The universe is not a static, predictable entity. It is a living, breathing thing, constantly evolving and adapting in ways we are only just beginning to understand. Elise could see the skepticism and apprehension in the eyes of her audience, but she also saw something else, a glimmer of hope, a sense of wonder at the possibilities that lay before them. We are on the precipice of a new era of scientific understanding, she would declare, her passion and conviction igniting the room. An era where the boundaries of what we thought possible are shattered, and the mysteries of the cosmos are laid bare for us to explore. The response was mixed, with some hailing Elise as a visionary and others dismissing her as a charlatan. But through it all, she remained steadfast, her unwavering dedication to the truth her guiding light. I know this is a lot to take in, she would say, her expression softening, but I implore you all to keep an open mind. The future of humanity depends on our ability to embrace the unknown, to challenge our preconceptions, and to uncover the hidden truths that lie at the heart of our reality. As Elise navigated the delicate political and social landscape, she found herself drawing on every ounce of her diplomatic skills. She knew that the stakes were high, that the future of scientific progress, and perhaps even the fate of humanity, hung in the balance. But she also knew that she couldn't do it alone. She needed the support and collaboration of the scientific community, the policymakers, and the public at large. It was a daunting task, but Elise was determined to succeed. We're all in this together, she would say, her words resonating with a sense of shared purpose. This discovery doesn't belong to me or my team. It belongs to all of us. It's our responsibility to explore the frontiers of the unknown, to push the boundaries of what we thought possible. Elise could see the effect her words were having, the way they ignited the spark of curiosity and wonder in the hearts and minds of those she addressed. It was a heady feeling, but also a humbling one, knowing that the fate of humanity rested on her shoulders. As the days wore on, Elise found herself drawing strength from the unwavering support of her team, the colleagues who had been by her side from the very beginning. Together, they would weather the storm and emerge on the other side, ready to rewrite the very rules of the universe. "We've come too far to turn back now," Elise would murmur, her voice filled with determination. "The future is ours to define." And with that, she would step back into the spotlight, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As the dust settled, the world began to come to terms with the momentous shift brought about by Elise's discovery. The doors to a new era had been opened, and humanity stood poised on the precipice of a future that was both thrilling and uncertain. Elise, forever changed by her role in this unforgettable moment, knew that the journey had only just begun. Across the globe, the ramifications of the team's findings began to reverberate, touching every facet of human society. Scientists and researchers scrambled to replicate the experiments, to delve deeper into the mysteries that had been uncovered. Governments, businesses, and policymakers grappled with the practical implications, weighing the potential risks and rewards of this paradigm shift. Elise found herself at the heart of it all, a reluctant but resolute ambassador for this new frontier of scientific exploration. Her once quiet laboratory had become a hub of frenetic activity, as colleagues and collaborators from around the world flocked to her door, eager to join the quest. "The world is watching, Elise," Michael said one evening, as the two of them pored over the latest batch of data. "Everything we do from this point on will shape the course of human history." Elise nodded, a well of emotions swirling within her. Excitement, trepidation, and a deep sense of responsibility all vied for her attention, pulling her in 1,000 different directions. "I know," she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. "And I'm not sure I'm ready for the weight of that burden." Michael reached out and placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "You're not alone in this, Elise. We're all in it together. The team, the scientific community, the world. We'll face this challenge head-on, just like we've done from the beginning." Elise allowed a small smile to tug at the corners of her lips. "You're right, and I know that we have the knowledge, the skill, and the determination to navigate this uncharted territory." She paused, her gaze sweeping across the bustling lab. "But the stakes have never been higher. The future of our understanding of the universe, and perhaps even the fate of humanity, hangs in the balance." The two scientists fell silent, the gravity of the situation settling over them like a heavy shroud. Elise could feel the weight of responsibility pressing down on her, the knowledge that every decision, every discovery, could have far-reaching consequences. But as she looked around the lab, at the faces of her devoted team, she felt a renewed sense of purpose. They were pioneers, explorers on the cusp of a new frontier, and they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. "We've come too far to turn back now," Elise murmured, her voice filled with determination. "The future is ours to define." In the weeks and months that followed, Elise and her team worked tirelessly, pushing the boundaries of their knowledge and challenging the very limits of human understanding. They collaborated with researchers from around the world, pooling their resources and expertise in a shared quest for the truth. The public's fascination with their work only grew as the implications of their findings continued to unfold. Debates raged on, with some hailing Elise and her team as visionaries and others dismissing their work as heresy. But through it all, Elise remained steadfast, her commitment to the pursuit of knowledge unwavering. She knew that the path ahead would be fraught with obstacles, but she was determined to see it through to the end. "This is just the beginning," she would tell the world, her voice ringing with a sense of conviction. "We've only scratched the surface of what's possible. The more we explore, the more we realize how little we truly understand about the very fabric of our reality." And as the months turned into years, Elise and her team continued to push the boundaries of human knowledge, uncovering layer after layer of hidden truths. The world watched in awe and wonder, captivated by the stunning revelations that emerged from their work. For Elise, it was a journey of a lifetime, one filled with challenges, setbacks, and moments of exhilarating discovery. But through it all, she remained steadfast, her eyes fixed on the horizon, ready to embrace whatever the future might hold. "We've only just begun to unravel the mysteries of the universe," she would say, her gaze filled with a sense of boundless possibility. "And I can't wait to see where this road leads us next." With that, Elise would turn her attention back to the task at hand, her mind racing with new ideas and theories, ready to once again challenge the very foundations of human understanding. The unforgettable moment when humans finally cracked the code had been just the beginning. The true revolution was only just beginning.